Welcome to the Wealth, Wellness, and Wisdom podcast. I am your host, Daddy Shabalala. Today, we'll be talking about lump sums. We will be talking about how we move from I blew it to how I built it. Today's topic is one of my favorite because I'm an investment specialist. Since I've been working in pension funds for the past 2 decades, investments have always been my go-to, and I love talking about investments. So today I will give you two stories. Tandi became a widower at the age of 38. She had two children, and the lump sum that she received was 3 million. On the other side, we also have Zipo, who retired at the age of 62, who also got 3 million rand when he retired. I will be showing you how the two people use their investments and how to plan better for your investments. So a little bit more about Tandi. Tandi has two children. Her goal is to use the money to secure kids' education and to provide for the family. Brasipo's story is that when he retires, he dreams of buying his dream car, helping the family, and having a comfortable retirement. Brasipo's mistake is that he saw the payout as a way to spend money instead of reinvesting and growing his investment. So let's go deeper into the story of Tandi and Brasipo. We all know a Tandi and a Brasipo. Maybe you are one of them. By the end of this, you will know exactly what to choose. So when money comes, family needs start becoming more important. You have your uncle who's in need of desperate cash. You have debt that you might want to settle. You might feel that you deserve to spoil yourself. And also, the number one killer is taking too much money as a lump sum instead of investing it to get a monthly income. So there's various sources of lump sums that people normally get. Besides the Lotto and the RAF fund, there's also death benefits that come with the lump sum. We also have retrenchment packages that you get when you're getting retrenched, and you get paid out severance pay, your pension fund, and all your leave days. You also get pension fund withdrawals and retirements. It could be a disability. There's various forms that lump sums can come with. Most people do not plan to receive these lump sums. So they treat these lump sums emotionally, not strategically. And when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. This is where having a financial advisor becomes very, very important. We call it emotional spending, healing the pain through purchases. Let me ask you, if 1 million were to hit your account today, what's the first thing you would do? Now that you've taken a second to think about that 1 million hitting your bank account, let's dive deeper into Tandi's story. Tandi's 38, lost her husband in a car accident. His employer pension fund and group life cover payout was 3 million. Note that she only took the tax-free portion, which was 550,000 as a lump sum, and the balance she used to purchase a life annuity. From our previous episode of David Mabuza, Tandi took notice that she needs to nominate her beneficiaries, and in this case, she nominated her kids. We will have another episode to talk about the estate and how to plan around your estate and why nominating your kids as beneficiary is not the best way to go about it, but that's for another episode coming in the future. So the kids were 9 and 13 years old. In the first 6 months, Tandi settled some debt, bought a tombstone, and also did some minor renovations around the house with the 550,000 that she got from the benefit as a tax-free amount from the death benefit. She decided to take a drawdown of 5%, which is what I will show you here on this table. As you can see from this table, the 5% drawdown equates to about 122,000 per year, meaning that she's getting about 10,000 Rand from this investment every month. This is over and above the salary that she's getting. So the 10,000 is helping her make ends meet. This is a very conservative drawdown of 5%. The rule of thumb is that when you have a drawdown, it must be less than the growth rate of the investment. In this case, Tandi chose 5%. 5% was way below than the expected returns of 12%. And you will understand when I show you the table why that makes so much sense. Let's look at Tandi's expected cash flow. So from this cash flow table with the years on the left-hand side and the capital brought forward, the annual drawdown, and the drawdown percentage. So you can see that her drawdown is 5%, and that, as I said earlier on, that her annual drawdown is about 120,000 rands a month, which was equating to about 10,000 rands a month of additional income that she was getting. So if you notice the second year, that capital amount brought forward is now 2,464,000 rands. And we actually started with 2,445,000 rands, meaning that she still has growth, and even though she had withdrawn 120,000. If you follow down that table, you will see that that money goes from 2.4 to 2.5 to 2.570 to 2.6 and so forth, meaning that the money is increasing every year instead of decreasing. And also with the 5% drawdown, you can see that her increase of income will also increase, where we started off with 120,000 rand, and year 5 she's withdrawing 131,000 rands, meaning that she's keeping up with inflation. This is a very conservative table that I'm showing here. The drawdown could be 6%. We can actually go in every year and review if she needs more money or if she needs less money. So every single year you would sit with your financial advisor and discuss what your drawdown rate would be. You can only choose this once a year on your annual review date. So let's go to Zipo. This is where Zipo went wrong. Zipo was his own financial advisor. He refused to take financial advice. So let's look at his cash flow and what he did. Zipo retired at the age of 62, and because his benefit was 3 million, the pension fund told him that he could take 1/3 as lump sum. And that's what Zipo did. He took 1 million as his lump sum. No one explained to Zipo that that money would be taxed. So he was surprised when he only received 800,000 in his bank account. 200,000 went to SARS. With the 800,000, Zipo decided to renovate his house. He thought of buying himself a German machine, a second-hand one, not a brand new one. And he also went on a cruise with his wife, a well-deserved holiday, he thought. From the 3 million, he could only purchase an annuity with a balance of 2 million. And Zipo had a big lifestyle that he wanted to maintain. So he said that he wanted to withdraw 20,000 rands a month from the 2 million. Let's look at that table showing a drawdown of 20,000 rands a month. So to be able to get 20,000 to Zipo, his drawdown rate was 14%, meaning that he was withdrawing 280,000 rands annually, which works out to about 23,000 before tax. Zipo was trying to get a net salary of 20,000 rand a month. Let us look at Zipo's cash flow, just like we did with Tandi. So Zipo's cash flow starts off looking very, very bad, because you can see initially that his money is actually going down every single year. And because Zipo insists on withdrawing 20,000 rands a month, you can see that in the second year we had to actually increase his drawdown rate so that he could get the same amount that he was getting in the first year. If you look at the capital brought forward, you can see that we started off with 1.9, and the following year it went down to 1.8, where he increases drawdown to 15.5% because he wants 20,000 per month. By the third year, Zipo was withdrawing at the maximum rate of 17.5% to maintain his 20,000 rand per annum salary. The reason the maximum is at 17.5 is because the living annuities withdrawal rate is fixed at 17.5%, That is the law, and that's the legislation. We cannot change that. That's the maximum you can withdraw on a living annuity per annum. If you carry on and you go to the fourth year, you can see that from the 2 million we initially started with, we're now sitting at 1.4. And even though he wants to withdraw 20,000 rands a month, we cannot do that anymore, because now 17.5% of the 1.4 is only now 256,000. It's no longer the 280,000 that he wanted. And as you can see, if we carry on every single year withdrawing at 17.5, his value is actually going lower and lower. By year 7, Zipo has depleted half of his investment already, which is the direct opposite of what was happening with Tandi. Tandi's money was growing every single year and she was withdrawing more money. But now, because Zipo started the other way around, where he was withdrawing more money, by the year 7, he's already halved his money. So let's look at the comparison between Tandi and Zipo together. Let's look at the two tables so that you can see them next to each other and understand what's actually happening with the cash flow. For illustrative purposes here, I've only done the first 12 years. Remember, they both started with 3 million. Zipo chose to take 1/3 cash and he paid tax of 200,000, meaning that he only had 2 million to invest. Tandi, on the other side, only withdrew the tax-free portion of the 550,000, meaning that she started off with 2.4 million. So with the tables next to each other, you can see how the outcome looks, where Zipo, after 12 years, is sitting with only 691,000. But on the other side, Tandi's value has grown to 3 million from the initial 2.4. And over the years, they've both withdrawn money. Again, let me explain the 4 to 5% withdrawal down rule. This is your money safety. If you are withdrawing less than the growth of your investment will carry on growing. However, if you withdraw more than the growth rate of the investment, you will deplete that investment. The reason that this works is because you are withdrawing a smaller percentage of your money than the actual growth, meaning that your money could last more than 20 to 30 years. This is not just for you. This is how you create generational wealth. Because after 20 years, when you pass away, you can pass this investment on to your kids, to your grandchildren, and they can also follow the same logic, meaning that the money will just carry on growing. If, however, you are like Zipo and you are taking more than the growth of the investment, you will deplete that investment and you will not be leaving an inheritance for anyone. In fact, you will become a liability to the people because you won't be able to maintain your expensive lifestyle. This is a vicious cycle for Zipo. Because he's used to a high lifestyle, he's not going to be able to withdraw more than 17.5%. And this will start creating stress for him in his life, where he won't be able to maintain his life. So this is a vicious cycle where you are withdrawing more of your money than what it's actually growing, meaning that your money is getting less. And the more you take from your investment, the less money you have. It's just a vicious cycle of depleting your wealth. Let's unpack why most people blow their money. The first reason is emotional triggers, where you find that people have desires that one day when I retire, I'm going to live in a double-story house and I'm going to show the neighbors what a big house I can build. Those are emotional triggers. You know, when you want that German sedan that you've always dreamed about, that's an emotional trigger. You haven't really thought the decision through. Another reason is guilt, feeling that you owe people or your family the nice things in life. You might have been growing up living in a normal standard house, but when you retire, you might think, no, my family deserves better. I need to leave them a bigger house. I need to leave them with a massive house here, and maybe we need to even move, you know? So it's that guilt of saying I wasn't able to provide earlier on, so I'm going to start providing now when I retire. That is guilt. That's an emotional trigger as well. Another reason is pressure. So as soon as that money hits the bank, people have needs, people have demands, people have new lifestyle triggers that they have. They deserve better things now. Now that they have money in the bank, people no longer want to eat at home. They deserve to go eat out more often. And this is how that lifestyle creep just keeps on getting worse and worse over the years. Another reason I'd like to unpack is relief spending. That is more like thinking of I've suffered so long, I deserve to treat myself, which is also another emotional trigger that you want to be careful of. To say, I deserve this. I've worked hard all my life, so I'm going to spoil myself. You are not thinking through what this money is going to last you for your rest of your life. You're no longer earning an income. You are retired. You don't have a job. So if you spoil yourself, what's spoiling yourself now going to look like in 5, 10 years from now? And the final reason that people usually blow lump sums is because of lack of financial education, financial literacy. The reason that this podcast exists to teach you some of the tricks and understanding of what financial literacy looks like. We've discussed Tandi and Zipo cases and what they did, but that's not the only way we can plan. So the next one I will teach you is about not putting all your eggs in one basket. So this is what we normally term in the industry the best of both worlds. When we talk about annuities, we normally refer to guaranteed annuities and your living annuities. So the best of both worlds is having a guaranteed annuity and a living annuity. Here we set it up in such a way that we split the money where we know that there's a guarantee coming in. We can set that up to say whether it has inflation linked or it grows at a fixed percentage and so forth. I've created a table here just to give you an example, illustrative purposes. Let's look at the values. The values quoted here are for illustrative purposes. These are not actual values that you would get from an insurer. You need to sit with your financial advisor and go through the different quotes that you would get for a guaranteed annuity. The guaranteed annuity rates normally change on a weekly basis from insurer to insurer. So you want to go around the market at the time that you're purchasing the annuity to find the best rate at that time. So the values I've quoted here, I'm showing you a guaranteed annuity, how it works, and the different levels that you get. So we'll start with the far right one. That's a level guaranteed annuity. As you can see, you start off with 13,000 Rands per month, and it's fixed for the whole term of the guaranteed annuity, meaning that you will get paid 13,000 for the rest of your life. Guaranteed annuities come in different forms. We will have another episode where we unpack guaranteed annuities. For illustrative purposes here, I'm just showing you a simple illustration where we have the level cover, where we have one that grows at 6%, one that grows at 5%, one that grows at 4%, and one that grows at 3%. They all start off at different amounts. As I said, the level, you will always be getting 13,000 Rands. But if you look at the one that grows at 6%, by year 9, you will be beating the one level cover and it will keep on increasing for the rest of your life. A personal story I'd like to share. When my grandfather passed almost 20 years ago, he had a guaranteed annuity. But it wasn't just on his life, it was for him and his spouse. My grandfather died, as I said, almost 20 years ago. Can you believe it? My grandmother is still receiving an income that grows at inflation ever since my grandfather died. That's the beauty of having a guaranteed annuity linked to both you and your spouse. As I said, this is the best of both worlds. We are talking about a life annuity and a living annuity. The life annuity is what we normally call the guaranteed annuity. That's the one that says you will receive an income for the rest of your life as long as you are alive. That's the guaranteed annuity. The living annuity is the one where you choose your own drawdown rate, where you choose how much money is going to be invested, where where you choose your own asset pool, and hopefully with the help of an advisor, you will be able to choose the right assets for you. Hopefully, with the help of an advisor, you'll be able to choose the right asset allocation that suits your investment goal. So the best of both worlds, we play around with the percentages to say whether we're putting 60% or 40% in a life versus a living annuity, or we do a 50-50. This is something that we do scenario planning so that we can see what's best for you and your family. So the best of both worlds is like having two baskets for your eggs. The one is guaranteed. These eggs will always come every single month. And the other one is where you are investing and you are saying that I want to see how many eggs those chickens can hatch every single month. You are responsible for that. That's your liability. You are taking care of that investment. So having the two scenarios helps you build a well-balanced financial plan no matter what happens. The guaranteed life annuity helps you plan better because that you know that money is guaranteed no matter what happens in the market. Even if another COVID hits us, that money will still continue coming. So, in conclusion, don't just save, structure your investments. Lump sums are not a blessing, but they are a test of your stewardship with money. Apply the 4 to 5% rule that I've been talking about. Withdraw less than what the growth of that investment is. Mix guaranteed and market linked income. Having the two different baskets that we were talking about will also assist you to plan better. Always anchor to your why. What is it that you want to achieve with this lump sum? Do you want to leave generational wealth, or do you want to become a liability for your kids and your grandchildren? You're going to receive a lump sum. I need you to pause and plan. Think about what is it that you want to achieve. Normally, the lump sums don't hit you by surprise. You know it's coming and you start planning. This is the time to start talking to a financial advisor to understand what options you have going forward. Talk to us independent financial advisors who can give you different market quotes and different plans from different insurers, different investment houses, and all various options that are available to you when you receive a lump sum. Build your two baskets of investments, the guaranteed income and also where you control the investments and growth. That way, we are sure that your investment will outlive you and you will leave a legacy for your grandchildren. I know this episode was full of numbers and spreadsheets and numbers that did not make sense, which is why people normally don't want to talk to a financial advisor. I hope these numbers made sense to you. However, if they do not, and you still see numbers and spreadsheets and you want to run, this is the perfect time to consult an advisor who will help you with the numbers and making sense of the numbers. Contact us on our website at daddyshabalala.co.za. You can also reach us on our social media handles. You can also find us on all social media platforms. The handle is Daddy the Advisor. Should you wish to phone us rather, below you will find the office contact numbers. Thank you for watching once again. See you on the next episode.